This is OGULAGHA Kingdom in Burtu local government area of Delta State. I came here for a sensitization program. The OGULAGHA community is a coastal community and basically endowed with a lot of natural resources. Here you can see, and it's very developed. This is the venue of the sensitization program on sustainable fishing. Right in the community town hall, we have the members of OGULAGHA community, and they are here to be sensitized on sustainable fishing practices. It's really my pleasure to be here. The lecture.
Now, not be the way we did catch fish before. But now, no like that. I mean, we did catch fish when they grow up. Sometimes when you put net for the corner of the river, just use and cross the river, leave and check the next morning. When you go, the kind of fish you will catch, you will sing church song. In fact, go there, I say, you won't go help yourself and you can't be there. But now, when they go drag and harvest, they vex. They drag net, there are crabs and some other things where you don't even want self, now they follow come. So the problem is say as the fish that they reduce, it will get to a point where we say we don't even get enough to eat again. Now I make the Nigerian Conservation Foundation say make we come discuss with honor about how we go manage the small fish wey dey so that they will still dey for us now and for our children wey go come we come see them too. So now one of the major topics wey we wan discuss is how we catch fish now and also for future. So we go dey call am sustainable fishing. Now wetin be sustainable fishing? Sustainable fishing mean say we go dey practice things wey go make sure say when we catch fish, the fish dem no go finish, dem go still dey for us till tomorrow. And this one go beyond just to dey make sure say the fish dey. We also want to also protect the environment where the fish dey. It involves no only involve the collection of the catching of fish in a sustainable way, it also involves how we will fit protect the environment, the water way the fish and the skin. So now the thing we call sustainable fishing. So I want to look at some of the things where we will fit do to make sure say as we catch the fish, we will still get fish to chop in the future. Now what is the one thing we will fit do to make sure say the fish they will continue to plenty for us? One of the things where we fit do now to make sure say we use nets, we get large net sizes. When we catch the picking them, the fingerlings of fish. Yesterday when I go waterside, I don't know whether some of you will not meet me. I go waterside, I obtain permission, take pictures, make videos. I see the common thing when somebody go catch crayfish, go see say they go carry the small fish them off the croaker. And those ones I suppose grow come become the big one that will fish chop. But because the next mesh size small, they gather both the small and the big ones. And sometimes they're very many. Sometimes during the fish season, you see that they float on the water everywhere. You see that they float. Those ones, now they reduce the amount of croaker was catch because the picking them don't fit grow or reach adults when you fit eat. So crayfish matter they somehow because the crayfish are small. If you say you want to use big mesh size, it will be a problem. But you get some other nets where they use for other to catch other fish that we get small mesh size where they gather both small and big ones. So make we try to see say if those such nets where it not necessary to get small mesh size, make we use big mesh size so that nobody waste the picking them or the fish to the size we will feed it. That one will help us to keep the fish population wey go sustain us in the future. Then one other thing wey we fit do na catch and release. Wetin be catch and release? You know, fishing dey involve other groups of organisms wey no be fish. Sometimes when you go to catch fish for river, sometimes particularly for ocean, you fit catch sea turtle. Now if you catch sea turtle, international law dey protect the sea turtle, say make we no dey kill am because the number don reduce. Very soon we no go see them again. And our children, and our story that as we dey hear about dinosaurs, na so that we dey hear about sea turtles. Say long time ago we dey see sea turtles. Say wetin na dey call sea turtles here? So na stories and our pikin dem dey hear say Benike bin dey before, na so e bin dey. But if you want our children to come and see these things, even if we self want to continue to see them, international law on conservation say make we dey secure the sea turtles. So when the sea turtles enter our net, say make we put them back for the water to release them.
He go buy it. We they go release them for Lagos. If person catch am, we call police. We collect and we go release them.
Yeah, for my place, we get Akasa Biodiversity Conservation Initiative. We will conserve the sea turtle. Some people they think say sea turtle now, now Oyibo people come and teach us. Say this animal they very important. So because of that, some people they even travel go there to go see the sea turtle there. They study them. So make we conserve the sea turtle. For some places, I traveled to Kenya once. When I go, don't think they give them natural, what they give them income now conservation. Conservation now they give them their income. As we depend on oil for them, now the animals wait in their place. They travel to the place for tourism and agriculture. Now the two things will sustain their disease. And sometimes when they travel along the street, along the road, when they see animals there, they walk up freely, and then they kill them. The only ones that they kill are like fowl, goats, cows, catfish. Catfish. But every other thing, if anybody kill them, it just be like, say the person don't kill human being. And so and each of their counties, where they call states, get national park. When you see when you go, you will see very large area. Now most of them will use driving go inside. You will see lions as they drive they go, just as they watch for natural wild or nature or the other. Now so you will see the animals there like that. Even in the open for savannah region, for where grass is there, I don't travel one long distance like that. We see them, the giraffe, the zebras and others. The rhinos, all of them just they walk out freely, then they kill them. Anybody will kill and arrest, and they will charge you as if you don't have human being don't kill. So make myself take on like that. Say those sea turtles, when we see them, make we release them. Now for our own good, because themselves, then they do something good for us. Then they help us to eat what they call alapa, jellyfish. When they worry us, now they catch crayfish. No, so then they help to reduce the population of crayfish.
Jellyfish.
Jellyfish, because they feed on jellyfish. Some of them. Though some are herbivores, but some they feed on jellyfish. So the more they kill the sea turtles, the more jellyfish go plenty. They worry our crayfish net there. So alapa them. So to reduce alapa, they also help to conserve the sea turtle there. Then if we mistakenly catch dolphins, dolphin itself, the international law they prohibit the killing of dolphin because they call them endangered species. Animals wey wan die finish.
They call it Bosu.
If you catch that one sef, make we come back for the river.
Dolphin.
Now people believe say dolphins na human being friends sef. And it save us sometimes when we sing for river. So make we release them back for river. And then whales. No, whales. And whales don't come beach before.
Yes.
Whales, if they are alive, for Igbo country, when whale come shore like that, they will look for even if that caterpillar, they will use go push and go back to the water. But here for Nigeria, as whale come, the whole town. No, whale they enter there because of the size. But small ones like dolphins, and sea turtles, where we suppose when they enter nets, make we release them. So those ones are the things we supposed to make we do catch and release. For scientists, they get some science people, their own. Like me, when I go for research, when we catch fish, we go keep them, make it there alive. When we study and do measurement, do everything finish. The ethics, our practice now to put them back for the water. If we go inside bush to go carry out research, maybe we catch squirrel or snake, we want to study. When we study and finish, we go release them back to the, it's not be our ethics. So scientists say they practice catch and release. So if we catch such endangered species, maybe we also release them back to the river. Then one other thing where we're supposed to, in sustainable fishing, not to put seasonal closures. Seasonal closure basically means we fit decide a particular period where we know we'll go river. We will stop to go river. When I grow up for my village, it gets sometimes, now to do no day again much. When I grow up to do them, sometimes you go see person with tie white cloth with bell behind the waka for road, but now they plenty like that, they dey like now it's not the minimal. So that those times when they believe in to do like that, they will say for the next 7 days, make nobody go river. And they will stop to, they say they won't clean the river. But normally nobody do they clean the river. But when they do it like that, till that 7 days, when you go and catch plenty fish. So that seasonal closure, they help to make fish then come back to recover. And then for freshwater environment, some people they get fishing festivals. And sometimes they see say during fishing festival, they catch plenty fish. No be so. Whereas for other lakes where they close, when people go there, they see better fish catch. So those freshwater environments, they close the lakes for the whole year or for a period of time. So make people don't go catch. When you don't reach the day to catch, everybody will go, you will catch enough to feed your family. So seasonal closures will help to retain the fish that will remain for us. Then we will also they use some kind of nets, the ones we don't get good mesh sizes, and then we get small mesh sizes. And then trawlers not supposed to they come to the estuary or into the river. They are all they're supposed to do their fishing for the ocean. Yes. So trawlers are prohibited from coming into the river to fish. And most times they come, but sometimes some places that they violate. So sometimes trawlers they're not supposed to come to our river because when they come they will catch.
They'll carry what?
Then they carry money first. It's not that they do the kidnapping, they know the ocean. So that was why.
So now ocean usually nine such vessels supposed to operate. Then we also need to avoid practices which will spoil our river. And such practices, now like the practices when they spoil our river now, the use of dynamite, explosives. Some people they use dynamite here. So if
no, but they use underground.
They're not the use.
Basically use dynamite. I see say people they dry the fish them well, they sell because now good business. But in some cases, some of the fish they waste, they rotten. So once fish to be sustained, small we don't catch, we have to preserve them well and to also sell them or eat. Sometimes we use freezers or other means to sustain them or to preserve them for future use. Then one other thing we do now to monitor whether people they use some of these things we say make they do. If somebody use dynamite to catch fish, as community leaders, and I would suppose talk to the person or even put laws and make somebody don't use dynamite to kill fish. So proper monitoring of fishing practices will help to preserve the fish and make we don't lose them. Then one other very important sustainable fishing practice now to carry out a meeting, to conduct a meeting with stakeholders, just as we do now. Facilitate people they teach about sustainable fishing. We suppose meet as they meet with the fishermen as on a day so. When we meet, we rub minds together. So the stakeholders are the fishermen, government, the scientists, even the law enforcement agencies, the police, whether they catch people, they do things with correct. So when we do stakeholders engagement, it will help to ensure that people they do the right thing. I make NCF they see it necessary to discuss with honor because honor is very important in this conservation of fish for the future. Then we also need to carry out ecosystem-based management. You need to get knowledge of the environment where the fish that live. As the fish that live for water, you get so many relationships where they get, where they keep them alive. So we're supposed to know those relationships. For example, the mangroves, now they call them primary producers for the estuarine ecosystem. That's the river way near the ocean, and they call them estuarine ecosystem or the estuary. So the mangroves, the angala them, and then they provide food, and the angala, and then they provide food for the fish there. Then that's when the angala leaves them for the river. The small crabs them and periwinkles them that will feed on the leaves of the angala, and even the shrimps and small things that make for angala corner they see shrimps and some other things. Yes. So when those small shrimps feed on the angala, fish will come feed on the shrimps there, and then in turn the smaller fish will feed on the shrimps, the bigger ones will feed on the smaller fish there, and we they chop all of them. Now we all go pata on them. Then we get also what we call phytoplankton, small tiny things we dey for the surface of the water, maybe small plants. Then they green. Yes. But sometimes we need a system that they did green. So those phytoplankton itself are primary producers. They will use the energy from the sun, carry out photosynthesis. And then when they carry out the photosynthesis, zooplankton will come feed on the small animals that they live for the surface of the water, will feed on them. And zooplankton include so many other groups of animals. So the larvae and pupa of crabs, before they become crab, then they live for the surface of the water, they zooplankton, even a larva and some shrimps. With their larval stage, then it exists as zooplankton. When they feed on the phytoplankton, fish will come feed on the zooplankton, and then that smaller fish will feed on the zooplankton, and then bigger fish will feed on the smaller fish. Then we will go chop all of them. So that knowledge is very important. Then we also need to know, say, apart from the mangroves, places like the mud flats, they're very important. Mud flats are those places where they're very extensive. Like from here to that field area now, you will walk out for land like say if it's Jesus Christ. You understand what I mean? Very shallow, where they can also collect food. And those mud flats are very important areas too. That their fish to go breed. Now then they go feed.
Catfish. Like this catfish.
Yes.
Oloma.
Yeah, Oloma them.
Yes.
Now then they go feed. Then they feed on the algae wey on the surface. Then some then they go lay eggs there because that place is shallow and relatively the water current no dey high there. So that then they go lay eggs. That breeding ground of fish too. So when we get that knowledge, we no go do things we go destroy those environments. So we supposed to protect our mangroves, the water surface to avoid pollution, and also make sure say the mud flats get protected from pollution and other toxic activities, other things wey go cause wahala for the place. So that one na very important thing wey we suppose get. Then one other thing wey we suppose do to make sure say our fish dem still dey for us to chop na to make sure say we also create marine protected areas, places where we no go dey go catch fish. E get some places, some for the whole country, dem dey put law say see from so and so place make nobody dare to catch fish at all. And that such areas dey help because those areas na dey breed fish wey go come to the river wey people go chop. So then they create marine protected areas. Some areas then they also protect the shoreline, make where sea turtles dey go lay eggs, make people no go catch fish around that area. If they know a particular area where turtles dey always come, they come lay their eggs, they comot, they go put laws to make nobody go catch fish around that area or disturb the area. So those areas are marine protected areas, and that one dey help in the fishing industry to help to reduce the decline, the rate wey the fish that they go down. Then we also need to protect essential habitats like the mangrove ecosystem and the mud flats. Then one other thing we fit do na to buy fish from people dey catch fish the right way. You know, if we say make we know they use dynamite catch fish and somebody use dynamite catch fish come, you go dey buy fish, e dey encourage it from the person, e dey encourage the person, no be so. So we go dey buy fish from people dey do the right thing, no be people dey do the wrong thing. If somebody use dynamite, leave am make him chop him fish alone. Buy fish from people dey use better net catch fish. That way we go dey discourage those bad things. No dey very good, and they even scare fish dem away. They scare fish dem away, and that one no really good. Then one other thing wey we fit do in sustainable fishing na to make sure say we eat fish wey dey very abundant for various seasons. Now when I go around I see say now na bogas fish season, no be so bogas shark season wey dey make plenty for their this thing. So now na the time to enjoy bonga. No be the time wey we go look for other fish wey no dey plenty. Enjoy bonga when bonga come. Then enjoy the giant African threadfin wey we call shinos. Enjoy am now because now sef na season, no be so. Yes. Na wetin I just find out. So chop the one wey dey plenty and avoid the ones wey no be their season. Sometimes when e reach tummy, that's yes, that one sef when e reach a season they will come plenty. So one other way we fit enjoy fish continuously na to eat those fish dem for their season and avoid the ones wey no dey, so that those ones go come recover while we eat these ones. When they come reach their season, they said they will come plenty for us to chop. That one na one very important thing wey we fit do. And one other thing wey we fit do to reduce our dependence on fish na to make sure say we also look for other source of protein. Make we no depend on fish protein alone. If we get money, definitely if money we dey use buy fish, we even buy us meat, no be so. Make we dey use meat sometimes, we use fish sometimes. If you fit buy snail, we buy snail chop. I priced meat fish yesterday. Sometimes the fish, one of my colleagues even shout say, now we get the water here, now get the price dey high. Sometimes the fish that dey cost. Even for my place, I dey surprised. When most times I carry my students and they go village and they go beach where they see where they catch fish. they study the fish, they collect fish, take photographs, and they want to buy it. Sometimes they even agree to sell us because they get big buyers for the Nepal. They get the big buyers. So they go hold the fish, and even when you want to buy, they go put the price so high. We say the effect say it comes from that place. With one that say if I take better say I don't come this place to come buy the fish sale. So we fit look for other source of protein like if you buy meat or other source of
meat sell the deer.
Meat sell the deer, but
You can rear.
mixer.
Domestication.
When we mix up, it will help us. It will help us to reduce the amount of fish we require to survive. And some they also practice aquaculture. Then they breed fish for land. They catfish them. So the dependence on the one we did for river will one day reduce because the catfish they also serve the same purpose. So that one another way we reduce the dependence on the fish we did for the river. And if we do that, our fish they will continue to survive small. So now the better information we are going to share with others. But if you get any question we want to ask, if it ask and we'll discuss it. Thank you very much.
It was indeed a successful sensitization program. We thank God.
Thank you.